Hello. I'll be right back. Come on, guys, let's go. Let's go.
Christian.
Call in 3 minutes. Let's go.
Christian has a juice here.
Good night.
Good night.
Did you study for your test?
Yep.
Study with Daddy?
Good night. Gotta go to the bathroom. Mom, gotta go to the bathroom. Mom. Mom.
What?
I know something.
Mom, over here.
Okay. I'll be right there.
Let me see your Go to sleep. Okay?
How are you asking to do anything?
Huh?
How are you asking to do anything? Christian, come on.
Go.
Christian.
La 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 la.
Why is it creepy?
Hey, Kara. I see you. Can you hear me? I'm gonna mute everybody. And then I'm gonna unmute Kara. So thank you guys for being on the call tonight. I am very excited for you guys to meet my friend Kara. And I really wanted her to talk to you tonight. Can she not hear? Let's see. Can you guys hear me now? Okay. Let's see. So I wanted you to meet her because I think what she did last year in terms of becoming a 5-star elite coach is pretty amazing. And I wanted you to hear from there because sometimes, you guys hear my story and everything, and I think that's great. But I think that the thing is that hearing somebody else's story and hearing somebody else's story of where she came from and doing this job full time is really going to help you. But before we get to the call, I just wanted to say we're halfway through the month. I think about 5 of us have hit Success Club out of my personally sponsored. We had 2 diamonds that were popped this month. It is an odd month. Like, I'm not going to say it's slow. It's just odd. It's odd in the way that things that have worked in the past are not working. And the thing is that you just have to constantly change. This is where you actually get the opportunity to, are you just going to fall down? Are you going to get back up? You're going to figure it out. You're going to move it. I got to tell you, I've been doing a lot more live videos, and those have been working awesome for me. They actually have been growing my page. I think I've grown probably about 50 people just this week. And it's just all from live videos. And I try to do it the same time, 12 o'clock and 8 o'clock at night. I try to let them know ahead of time, like, hey, I'm going to go on here and I'm going to talk about this. And it gets a lot of interaction. It's interesting because I actually believe that the people who get on your live videos are your lifers. I really, truly starting to believe that. And so maybe you only have 12 people on there. Well, guess what? It doesn't matter. That's 12 people that like you, that want to be a part of your whole thing, and that you have this intimate ability right now to create a really intimate conversation with them where they can ask questions and stuff like that. But what I wanted to do is introduce Kara. And so she's been married. I didn't know this, that she was married to her high school sweetheart, Frank, and he is hysterical. And he actually works the business. He's definitely a huge supporter of hers. She has 2 adorable children, Dominic and Avery. She is a practicing attorney of her own law firm. And she's been a lawyer for 11 years. Now, mind you, she comes from Christina Delgado. She's Christina Delgado's personally sponsored coaches. And so just like how I attract teachers, she attracts lawyers. And so she has been a coach since April 2013. She is a discount coach for 5 or so months. Then she became a hobby coach as a diamond. And then after Summit 2014, she just decided to go for it. And, I remember having a conversation with her at Summit, and just, something like, she was just like, bam, she's going to do it. And she does. She's also a marathon runner. She's a 2015 elite coach, SC5 All-Star, lifetime 5-star diamond coach. And she is soon to retire her law practice and be a full-time Beachbody coach. So that will be exciting. So Kara, I'm going to unmute you and turn the whole team call over to you.
Thank you, Kim. I really appreciate your introduction, and I just want to thank you for having me on your team call. I want you guys to know Kim is somebody that, she's like one of my favorite coaches, and she's somebody that I always look up to. She adds so much value. She participates in our Diesel Nation Diamond page, and I know the training that she does for your team, and it's incredible, and we use it. She has so many great ideas. So I am very honored to be on the call tonight, and I hope I can shed some light on just what my story has been, and hopefully it will inspire you, because I got to tell you, coming into coaching, as Kim mentioned, I was strictly a discount coach. I didn't want to hear about the business opportunity. I had my law practice. I had my kids. I was somebody who just felt I had too much to do. I was stressed. I was overworked. And so I saw Beachbody in the beginning as an additional source of stress for me. So I said to Christina, just kind of don't bother me with that kind of stuff. I was an in and out coach. But incidentally, I did go to events occasionally, and the first Super Saturday event that I went to, Kim, you were the speaker in Miami, and it was when the events were small. So it was like 60 or 70, which isn't small, but it's small compared to what the Miami Super Saturdays are now. You were the speaker, and I thought you were amazing, and that was just the beginning of just sort of opening my eyes up to what this opportunity could really be for me. So as I said, I wasn't really a fully committed coach. I was in and out. I didn't make Success Club non-negotiable for quite some time, but I really fell in love with the products and our programs, and I enjoyed the challenge groups, and I didn't see that as a chore. It helped me as much as I was helping other people. And so my business really grew organically, and in about a year I was a diamond, just from loving the products and talking about them. Because the way I saw it was, I wasn't going to get to where I wanted to be personally unless I put myself out there. And even though I'm a pretty private person, I had never done a selfie before Beachbody, ever. The only thing I posted on Facebook was my kids, and I talked about sports because I like sports a lot. Because I figured those were the safe things to talk about. You know, I never talked about politics or anything like that. I'm just pretty private. So Beachbody was very different for me, because you do have to put yourself out there in order to connect with people. And I was also somebody who had the big fear of how I was being perceived, because I'm a practicing attorney, and I didn't want some guy that I went to college with from 20 years ago to think badly or think whatever he would or judge me, when in reality, like, I'm never going to see that person again. So as soon as I got over those kind of fears and doubts about it and just shared what I was doing, people came to me. So I hit Diamond in about a year. And like Kim mentioned in the intro, when I went to Summit in Vegas, that was really a turning point for me. Because again, I think you have to invest a little bit of time in understanding how this opportunity can change your life. And it really opened my eyes up to see people able to pay off their mortgages and retire their spouses simply by jumping in, being committed, really pouring their hearts into what we do as coaches. And so I got a little more serious, and then I was more of a hobby coach, but I was dabbling into the business side because I was very passionate about what we do. So I knew I had a couple coaches that were close. And in 2015, in the beginning of the year, I set a goal for Elite. I had no idea what that meant. I just knew it was a big deal. So I was like, well, I'm just going to go ahead and aim high, and that's what I'm going to do. And so I set a goal for Elite, but I really didn't know what was involved. I knew that I hit the Elite points the year prior. So I figured, I did it last year, I can get the points. But again, you really have to understand what you need to do to qualify for Elite. So I was focused on rank instead of the points. But what happened in 2015 was, as I really just developed this huge passion for coaching and what the opportunity provides, is there were more business builders on our team. And so I just sort of started gravitating towards the people who wanted to run with me and wanted to really jump into this business with both feet. And many of them were not my coaches, but it didn't matter to me. It was just, who wants to really learn this and get good at it? And so that required me to get better at learning how to be successful. So I did that the first half of the year, and our team grew quite a bit. We started in the year around 40 or 50, 60 people. I mean, I had a small team. And then by the end of December, at the end of 2015, we were around 1,200. So there was a lot of growth that took place in that year. And so what happened was, the first half of the year, I was just focused very broadly on how can I help anybody who wants to do this. And it was more just, we worked together as a cohesive team. We got really, really good with training every month, sneak peeks every month, and we just worked together. I worked with the people who were leaders, who acted like leaders, who were doing all the right things. We had a number of people advance to Diamond that year, and so I counted on them to help me run training groups and things like that, and we all got better together. So, but what happened was I wasn't focused on my personally sponsored coaches very much, because I was just working with the people who really wanted to run with the business. And so on August 1st, I had 41 points, elite points, which basically means you have to get to a minimum of 135. So 7 full months of the year have gone by. I am nowhere close. I had the opportunity to meet with Craig, which is one of our corporate executives with Beachbody. And basically it was throw in the towel time. He basically said, it's just not your year. And so I had some time to go back after that meeting, and that was my gut check moment, because it was at the point where I realized, even though my business was doing great as a whole, I had set this goal and I wasn't focused on the right things. And it was the point where I thought I would lose it, that I really got focused in on what I needed to do. And so really, honestly, to be at 41 when you have to get to 135 7 months through the year, it was not something, it was near impossible, right? It was near impossible. Yeah. But what we did was, I had a powwow with my husband, and thank goodness, I owe a lot of this to him, because he's very, very good with numbers. And we looked at, was it mathematically possible? What would I need to do each month? And I don't know what level everybody is on the call, but basically for elite, there's 3 categories. One is your total team volume. So that's everybody in the downline. And that was the area where things were looking really good. So that was a good category. But the second one was your personally sponsored coaches from this year and the year prior hitting Success Club, because that is an indicator of growth. That is what we need to do in this business to grow our businesses, to reach more people. So it's Success Club. And then the third is personal volume, which naturally flows from Success Club, because if you have a team where your coaches are hitting Success Club, then they are generating personal volume. They're getting that PV. So you get a point for every 500 in PV. So we looked and tried to figure out how it would be mathematically possible. And it was going to be really difficult, but it was possible. And so what I did was, I had to switch my mindset to be very, very focused in on the key activities and motivating my team of coaches, my personally sponsored coaches, not the big group, the people that I sponsored personally, and helping them to see the importance in Success Club, making it fun, getting creative, and incentivizing it. Every month there was some kind of fun contest or competition that I would do. And I said, I want to work very closely with you all, and you have me at your disposal, but I want people that are going to commit to this. And so I had goals every month. I always shot higher. So if my goal was that I needed to help 5 people hit Success Club, I had 8 or 9 people that I was working pretty closely with, because I wanted to make sure that I had as many people as possible that were interested, genuinely interested. I'm not twisting arms. I think you have to want to do this, and you have to want to help people. But one of the mistakes I made was, I wasn't very vocal in the beginning of the year about my vision for our team. I was reactionary, and we were growing very quickly, and we just tried to keep up with everything. And instead, what I would suggest is, if you are building a business, that's one of the most important things, is that from day one, you have to create a vision for yourself, for what you want your life to look like, and for what your team, you envision your team to be. You have to be able to have that vision and explain it to them, explain what your goals are, your short-term and long-term goals are, and what you want to do with them. And then you have to be able to pull out from them what they want out of this. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, as coaches, we succeed when we help people get to their goals. That's our business. So you have to look at it now that you're a coach, whether you have 1 coach, 5 coaches, 20 coaches, 100 coaches, you have to help those coaches get what they want out of this. What are their goals? If it's fitness and health, plug them into challenge groups and help them stay accountable. If it's the business, then you're going to be working closely with them, and you'll have expectations of them because it has to be give and take, and you have to work with people who are willing to work with you. And so this is a little bit out of order, but I just want to mention we had a couple of coaches last year who incredible coaches. I did not sponsor them, unfortunately. They were amazing, and we did all the training together, and there were 2 or 3 that advanced to Diamond in about 2 months, between 2 and 3 months. Just absolute go-getters. And I studied them because I study people who are successful, because we can learn from that. And a couple of the characteristics that I noticed about all of them, they did not wait to be told anything. They just jumped in and did it. Okay, they never really asked questions. They just went out and found answers. One of our coaches, Erica, subscribed to Scotty Hobbs' coach newsletter because she said, it doesn't matter if I'm his coach, I still get his information. And she was getting all of Scotty Hobbs' coach newsletter information, and she found that to be valuable. So they just went out and they sought information. They were very resourceful. The second thing is they were dreaming big. I mean, these girls are go-getters. They jumped in with both feet. They were not apologetic about it. They were not shy about it. And they knew what they wanted, so they were working harder as a result of that because they had high goals for themselves. The next thing is you have to be resilient. You have to understand that in this business, not everything is going to work. You're going to try different ways to reach people and different ways to get your message out. People will say no. That is a part of this, because most of the time they do that, it's because of their own fears and their own doubts. It's not anything about you. And so I think something that stops coaches in the beginning when they're building their self-confidence is if somebody says no, or you get a few no's in a row, it makes you take it on personally. And you're offended because you think maybe you weren't good enough, but it's really just that person isn't ready. And so it's learning things like that understanding that, somebody might say they're going to, and then they flake out, or you don't hear back from them, but that's part of it. And maybe there's something going on in their life and they're not ready, So I think the faster you can learn those kinds of things, that every time if you hear a no, you are getting one step closer to yes, and developing that resilient character and attitude that happens over time, and that happens from committing to the 4 vital behaviors. So you're building that strength and character and resilience when you commit to doing the 4 vital behaviors. Those are things that are going to make you stronger as a coach, as a person, as a spouse. That's what helps you. And so, I love it. Beachbody's given us the formula. These are all things, once you make them a habit, they get easier and they get easier. All the skills needed to be successful in this business are habits that you can develop when you work on them. It's just a matter of what you're willing to put in, and can you be consistent in doing them every day. Okay, so I just really had to focus in August 1st on what are the things I need to do to help my team get motivated and excited and understand that this is something we can do together. And we just created momentum. I spent a lot of time, invested a lot of time in helping my coaches. And our business is actually pretty simple. We need to post and share our stories. We need to invite people. We need to reach out and on the back end and have conversations and connect with people. And we need to hit Success Club, because that's how we reach people. Okay, that is your indicator of growth for your business. So I just focused on hitting Success Club as early as I could, and then helping my coaches hit by telling them what I was doing, sharing things that were working. We worked together. We had a thread. And slowly but surely, every month, more and more coaches were hitting Success Club. And it really, truly was something we did together as a team. So if somebody had something that worked really well, they shared it, and we all made it our own and did it. If somebody had a post where they said, guys, I was really vulnerable, this was really hard for me to do, they let us know. We all went to their page and filled it with love and support, and that made them feel really good and made us work together more closely. And we got to know each other better. So I think all of that happened together. And man, it was down to the last 2 weeks, and it was a little stressful. But I did hit, and it was so, so worth it. So let me see. I have a couple of notes that, okay. Sorry, I wanted to get in my thoughts here. Okay, so one of the things I did in switching my focus when I realized that this is going to be a tough hill to climb is I looked at it as a challenge, okay, and I became a problem solver. So instead of all of this energy that we have, getting worried, feeling stressed out, I just switched to I'm going to become I'm going to find solutions. That was my mindset, because that's how you have to look at it. It can either worry you and be a negative energy, or it can be a challenge and it can be something fun. And it was really challenging and fun for me. I enjoyed that. So I looked at it that way. And then also, I think you have to have a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. So if you're somebody making a run for elite or making a run for a certain rank by a certain time, you need to really plan out how you're going to do it, map it out, but always have another option and more people that you're talking to. So when I was, August 1st on that pivotal date, I was a 2-star. I was a 2-star at that time. So guys, it's the middle of May. You know, there may be some diamonds and star diamonds or almost diamonds on this call. That's about where I was in my business a year ago. And I ended up at Elite this year. So I had my one diamond who was my business builder who ended up hitting Elite as well, which is amazing. So I had that diamond, and I had my second business center was my second diamond. I had a fallen diamond. So I worked really closely with her to help her get over the hump and solidify her rank. That was my third diamond. My fourth was my husband. And my husband I think he saw how much it meant to me. Slowly but surely over time, he has become very supportive, and now he checks our back office 100 times a day. It's insane. But he got supportive because he realized how much it meant to me, and this is something that we could do together. And so we were very much a team. I was building his business at first, and there were maybe 4 or 5 coaches that I'd placed there, discount coaches, but he really had to jump in and help me. And when he became a diamond, I made him get on Facebook. I mean, this is somebody who for about 1.5 years said, stop playing on Facebook, stop wasting your time. I don't like this. You're taking time away from the family. He really didn't see it for a very, very long time. As I started achieving success at some level in the business, whether my paychecks were going up or, he would see things posted, he slowly but surely started to understand how incredible the opportunity is. So, and I think another thing with my husband and helping him come around was going to events. So actually Cancun in 2015, the Cancun trip really helped him because that was incredible and he loved it, and he came back and really he loved Beachbody after that. So he was my 4th diamond, and then I worked very closely with, again, another one of my coaches. She happens to be my best friend. She had 5 or 6 coaches, so she wasn't very far away, and it was just heart to heart powwow. Do you want to commit and really just jump in with both feet? And I think you have to have conversations with your coaches and really get to know them most of my coaches I have personal relationships with, but you really have to understand what people want out of this, and you have to challenge them. And I want to be challenged. I want people, I'm here because when you're around excellence, it makes you better. And so you want to be a good coach and challenge your coaches to stretch themselves and really, really go for it. I kick myself when I think about all the time I wasted not seeing the value in coaching and the business opportunity. I do. I kick because it was a long, long time. I signed my husband as my 7th or 8th coach, and I think about all the volume that we would have had if he was my 1st or 2nd coach, which is what you're told on day 1 or 2 of training is, if you're building an organization, you want your spouse or you want a family member right at the top. I didn't do it. So I think you have to, listen to your sponsor and listen to Kim, because these are people who are looking out for you. These are people who care about you. They have your best interest at heart. And yeah, they want to see you succeed. So a lot of times I see coaches that hold themselves back because they're just unwilling to do the simple practices that are taught in trainings. And the people that really take off quickly are the people who accept it, they trust the process, they believe in it, and they jump in and they go for it, despite any fear that they might have, because what they're working for is a lot stronger than that fear and that doubt. Okay, so just in general, I wanted to give you some things that I've come up with here. The more you grow it, the more you know it, the more you grow it. That goes with whether you're shooting for elite or not. Understand how the business works and really get into the back office and understand volume. And I actually use the previous Office View a lot, which is the older version, because it's live and you can see orders as they come through. And so what I started doing was tracking everything, every single week and month. And when I focused in on where there are opportunities for growth and where there are coaches who, wow, they really seem motivated and they are selling challenge packs, and I need to check in with them. I want to recognize them, but being in tune with your business. It is your business. So the more you know about it, the more you can make it grow. And so what I was noticing was the very first time we did a sneak peek, there might have been 20 or 30 people total. And then we would have brought in, again, I was looking at total downline numbers. So maybe that month I noticed that 40 coaches enrolled in the last 30 days. And that was incredible. But then as I started tracking the numbers, it was going up every month and I feel like at least in part it was because I was tracking them, because I knew how important sneak peeks and business opportunity calls are and things like that. So again, I don't know what levels you are in the business, but Kim runs these things and your team runs these kind of recruitment opportunities every single month. It's really, really important that you're planting seeds and talking about the business and what it can do for people, because you never know. Somebody can join that group and then they are your next coach and they take off. And so don't ever be afraid. I think that is something that coaches are hesitant to do. Is it takes them a little longer to talk about the business, and maybe people feel like they don't have enough success. I'm sure I felt that way too, and I think what you do is you talk about the success in your challenge groups. You talk about the success of people on your team. You talk about, what you love about your team. I think you just talk overall about what it brings to your life. And, I think you have to look at it as, what is your attitude? This is where personal development comes in. It's so important. You have to have it sounds silly, but you have to have a can-do attitude. Instead of letting if something doesn't go your way kind of weigh down on you, switch it to, I'm going to find a solution to that, and always look for other ways, because there is never, ever, ever any shortage of people that we can help. That's what we have to keep in mind. Now, I also want to share that something that slowed me down a lot in the beginning, I mentioned, was I was just way too afraid of what other people thought of me. That was a big problem that I had my whole life. And I love that coaching forced me to get over that, because really, at the end of the day, you know, you are doing this for you and your family, and it really does not matter what anybody else thinks of you. So let's see. And so along those lines, I look at it now as the things that scare me, the things that terrify me are the things that I need to share. And that if I do not share my story, it's selfish. It's selfish. It's selfish to be afraid of what people will think of you. It's actually a lot better to be vulnerable and to share what you've gone through, because what it does is it helps people see that they're not alone, and it helps people see that you're just a normal person like they are, going through the same things that they're going through. So when you're able to be vulnerable, when you're able to really dig deep and just have a glass of wine and post something that's really scary, that's how you find the people that are going to be your tribe, because they are going to relate to that. And so the more you can do things that terrify you in this business, the more you will grow in this business. Honestly, that is the truth. I'm not a shy person, but doing live videos scares me. And I try to do a live video every so often. Just like Kim mentioned, it's very, very important. It's the new hot thing in our business because of the algorithms. You get so many more views. You get so much more action. More people are seeing it. It's popping up in news feeds. These are the things you have to do to reach more people. It's not about you, it's about what you can do for them. And you're not doing it, you're doing it to show other people what they can have, because you're living the products every day. So like I said, August 1st for me was kind of gut check time. It was, this is highly unlikely, this is nearly improbable, what am I going to do about it? Am I going to shrink away and just throw in the towel? Or am I going to give it everything I have? And once I knew it was mathematically possible, I knew I just had to go for it. It was thrilling to me to shoot for a goal that lofty and that high and that scary with 5 months to go. And then to be able to hit it was like incredible. It was amazing, you guys. I was telling Christina after it was final that next to passing the bar, this is the most proud I've ever been of myself. Like honestly, going through 3 years of law school and studying for the bar, that's a tough thing to do. But hitting elite is right there. And you know, I run marathons, and I have the kind of personality where I like to just challenge myself and get out of my comfort zone. But hitting elite was incredible for me because it was a team accomplishment. It was something we couldn't have done it unless we all did it and worked together to get there. So I guess what I would say is I waited until August 1st to have the gut check time. And I would like for you all to have a gut check tonight, right now, and really just be honest with yourselves and ask yourselves, I mean, first of all, bravo that you're on the call, because you're here, you're investing in your business, and this will bode well for you. You know, this is helping you, the fact that you're connecting with Kim and you're here on this call. But I want you to take inventory of where you are and really just honestly ask yourself if you're doing everything you can every day in this business to reach people and to try to get better for you, you know, to get closer to the goals that you have. This is something Melanie Mitro does, is every month she evaluates herself and she evaluates her team. So she looks at her Success Club points and her volume and things like that. And every month she tries to get a little higher. And so taking it day by day, just evaluate and track your day and your business and try to do a little bit better every day. And it's not that we're not going to be perfect. Every day is not going to be great. We might not get all of our invites out. But the point is that the effort and the time is there, and that you're developing the consistency, because that's what's going to help you over time grow your income. So that would be the first thing, is to ask yourself if you're doing the very best you can daily. And also with that, you have to think about time management and being disciplined, because I waste so much time on Facebook. I don't know about you. Do you waste any time when you're on Facebook? Do you scroll the news feed and not really get work done? Because if you think about it, if you're operating a business and you're here to operate a business, then you want to be really efficient with your time when you're on Facebook, and you want to power through your to-do list. So that's something, if I'm more aware of it, I don't get caught reading some irrelevant thread. I'm using my time. I'm managing my time wisely. The more you can get better at managing your time, the more you can help your challengers manage their time to show them how they can fit a healthy lifestyle into their lives. And the more you can help your coaches fit coaching into their life. And those are your potential business partners. So you have to get good at these things so you can teach other people. That's how I saw it. And then really just like take the opportunity to understand how this can change your life. It wasn't until, sort of halfway through last year, as I saw really big income jumps and things like that. Another thing that I did in the beginning of the year is I said that I wanted to take my family skiing, because we'd never been skiing. And my husband's never even seen snow. We're South Florida people. We live in, tank tops 12 months out of the year. And I set this huge lofty goal. I'm like, if I'm just going to dream really big, I would love to go on a ski vacation, a very lavish ski vacation. Again, I didn't think about it for 8 months. So I want you to learn from my mistakes, because you have to come back to the goals that you set for yourself. But because of the work that we had been doing all year long, it ended up that by August or September or October, financially, we were in a position to have that money there to look into that vacation. And it was very last minute. But in about 2 weeks, I was able to plan a 5-day vacation to Aspen, Snowmass, because Snowmass is the city next to Aspen, with our children. And I'm telling you, it was the most happy we've all ever been. Like it was a dream vacation. And it was because in January, I set it as a goal. I didn't even really know what I was doing in January. I just said, okay, I'm going to think big. What do I want my dream life to look like? And I was able to do that for my family. So if anything, I just want you guys to not be afraid of dreaming and thinking big in this business, and really dreaming big about how you see your life, because that is your vision, and that's going to be the thing that drives you every day. Lastly, recognize what you bring to the table. Like, I think people worry so much and they spend so much time. I'm not this enough. I don't have enough friends on Facebook. I don't look like this person. I'm not as great with the fitness videos. And they spend so much time on that instead of acknowledging all of the special, unique talents that you bring to the table. Your story is powerful. Your story has the ability to impact so many people. And so that's what you need to focus in on. Don't look at what other people are doing. Focus on becoming the best you that you can become. And that is going to give you the confidence and the power to impact more people.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I have one question.
Yes. Bring them on.
I feel like half of our team is probably like coach or emerald, actually a lot of emeralds. And then the other half are diamonds. And so my question to you is, what was the one thing that you think you did either more of or maybe less of that made you go from diamond to star diamond? That, because I think that's where people kind of are. They're kind of in that 1-star diamond kind of area. So what do you think what it was?
I think, like I said, in 2015, I spent the first 6 months really focused on the entire organization and not just my coaches, because I had a lot of discount coaches. So I just really honed in on the people that wanted to run in the business. And it was a larger scale. So I would say if you've got, if there's a diamond or a star diamond and you've got coaches 2 or 3 levels down that you did not sponsor, and they are very motivated in this business, then those are the kinds of people that you would create training for to help them move along more quickly. I mean, I really did it started with the Push to Diamond group, but we just worked really closely together. And it didn't even really matter what the rank was. It was, who are the people that are hungry, that are doing this day in and day out? They're doing everything that we're saying, who want to advance quickly. And that was like a core group of people. And they're pretty much all diamonds now. And a lot of them are star diamonds, because we did spend a lot of time honing their skills and their leadership and teaching them what they would need to do to get beyond diamond. So they've got it all. So they're teaching that to their coaches now.
Good. And I have another question. So you come from a pretty well-known team, Diesel Nation.
Yeah.
How did you make your own vision? How did you make your own culture from?
I just saw my team is No Limits Fitness, and there are over 1,300 coaches on our team currently, but growing every day. I saw my team as my baby. It was my baby. And so once I created a team name and had my own team page, I took it upon myself to get to know everybody that was welcomed in, whether they were my coach or not. And I think that just really made us work very closely together. I got to know the people who really wanted to do something special in this business. I noticed when people were hitting Success Club quickly. I mean, I think recognition is a really big part of this. And it's not just recognition on the business, but it's recognition on, look at this awesome thing they did. It didn't have to be the business. Look at this. They look at their awesome transformation. Show this person some love. We always try to know our coaches on our team on a personal level. And as a result of that, we were very supportive with each other in everybody's social media. So as our team was small, before it was more than 200 or 300, we were liking, because obviously we're all on social media, so we were liking and commenting and supporting everybody on the team together, and that made us bond, and that made us a pretty tight-knit team. And I think people see that. I think, if you've got friends that are watching and you've got coaches who go and support you, and you go and you support them, and you're always adding, you're lighthearted and you're funny and you're charismatic in your comments, and you support them, I think people are watching that. And I think that matters. And so we just sort of did it naturally, but I just looked at my team as my baby, and I wanted to know everybody and love everybody. And I did, as our team was growing, I welcomed all the new coaches on the Facebook cover. I put their names because, again, I wanted them to feel welcome, like they were a part of something, because they were. I did anything I could to make them feel special. I sent them PMs. And again, as our team is now, it's 1,300, so you can't do that every time. But anytime I have the opportunity to congratulate somebody or notice what they're doing in their business or personally and message them, I do that. And it doesn't matter if they're on my first level or my 8th level. And that's where it is now, but I still want to know the people who are excited and motivated about this business, because they're future diamonds. That's how we see it, And then I think when people got to diamond, I made a separate group just for diamonds. I made a separate group for diamonds to be, and you had to be at least halfway to diamond. And that is where I shared more business-related, leadership-related information, because I wanted them thinking at a higher level already. They were halfway to diamond and said they wanted to be diamond. Then they got a different additional special group that had a different gear, And then our diamond page is just, it's a round table for diamonds, and we exchange ideas. We speak freely. We help each other. We support each other. We help each other. If there's a new coach that does a really, they come out of the closet or they do a video or something like that, they alert us, and we all go there and support each other. So I think that helps us. Like when I say, one of the taglines I always use is "Together we are stronger," and we do work really closely together. And that is why I think we, overall the team performs at a really high level, because we're in it together and we share what works with each other, and we help each other.
Awesome. Thank you. I think that was actually very helpful, that last part for them. If you guys want to use the chat feature and have a question or a comment, and I can relay it to Kara.
Also, I want to mention, I can't see the chat, but
yeah, I'll read it to you.
I always talk about how I wasn't that into this business in the beginning, because I want people to see, like, no matter where you are today, it does not dictate what your future can be as a coach. I didn't do anything for 5 or 6 months besides share my journey publicly, which was hard enough for me. But I didn't try to build a business for 6 months. And I always look at what you do or don't get out of this business. I can't be disappointed with what I didn't get from the work I didn't do. So my productivity, my Success Club points, my volume, my paycheck, it's always a direct reflection of my effort. And I know that if my Success Club points are low, it's because I'm not doing the vital behaviors, or that I'm not doing them at a high enough level. And so I can never be upset and feel like a failure or feel discouraged, because I just know I'm not really doing things that I need to be doing. And I hope people can look at it that way. It's never a reflection of your value or who you are as a person. It's just, are these really your habits, and are you doing everything that we're supposed to do, which we all know what we're supposed to do. So.
Agreed, 100%. Any comments or questions or anything you'd like to know more about? All right. Well, thank you so much for helping us with our gut check. I like that.
Gut check time.
Gut check time. Honestly, I got to tell you, if somebody sat me down and told me it was impossible, I would have probably let it be impossible. So I think it's awesome that, when corporate is sitting you down and telling you, hey, we just don't think it's your year.
Actually, yeah, that's what he said. It's not in the cards this year. And honestly, it's not in the cards this year. But you know what, you guys, here's another thing though, and I can all point to my team on this, like the girls that I had trained that had like 30 or 40 or 50 more elite points than I did. It's like, I wanted to do good for them. Like, I really put a lot of, I see it as a duty and obligation or responsibility to be my best for them. So I saw people that I had trained that were coaching a lot shorter amount of time than me, that I ran their coach basics. I was answering questions for them. They were amazing, and they had a lot more points. It was the rank for them, because rank takes time. And so I said, you know what? I've got to do better for them. I have to go for it, because what kind of a leader am I if I just throw in the towel? So I let that inspire me instead of discourage me. I always try to find the inspiration in it.
Absolutely. I agree. Well, thank you so much for being on the call, and thank you so much, team, for being on the call tonight. As always, I appreciate you take time out, and I think that Kara left us with some good things to think about. I've kind of always believed the same thing she did, is that as a leader, you can't expect anybody to do what you're not willing to do yourself. And that's kind of where it's kind of like what makes me push to get to SC10 as soon as I can, so that I can help you guys, so that, when you guys see me on the leaderboard, you don't have a leader who's taking it easy or not getting uncomfortable. So thank you so much for being on the call. Thank you again, Kara. And thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you.